Hey guys. Um, so I just wanted to kind of make like a different style video, and I don't think I've ever like made an appreciation video like this, and it's kind of new for me, and I'm happy about it because, it's good to have gratitude in life, and if you can find something to be gracious about, then, you know, your your will to live is, higher. Um, But I'm kind of like making it in like my bed. I'm in the comfort of my own bed, and I'm kind of like laying down because I want this to be like a more soft spoken conversation. I don't really want to yell. One, I have roommates, so I don't want to bother them. Two, I kind of just want it to be like it would be like a table talk, or people just kind of sit down and talk. I want to feel like I'm actually talking to you guys, and not in a fake kind of way, like when I'm relaxed, I say what I think, and I say it more calmly instead of, you know, sporadically and anxiously. um, but I wanted to explain my gratitude and why I'm thanking you guys. So I knew that if Byler wasn't going to be pursued in the finale, I knew that I was going to cry about it because of the symbolism. And I already made a whole hour-long video about the symbolism and the true deeper meaning and the emotion and all that. Um, and I knew this was something I was going to have to grieve, which sucks because I've never had to grieve fictional stories before, ever in my entire life. Like, I was invested in, like, Attack on Titan for 10 years, and when the show ended, I only thought about it for, like, 2 weeks, and I only cried once after, like, 4 days, and that was it. I was over it. but, um, but yeah, so people dealing with what's called the Byler depression, and I kind of felt like, oh my gosh, there we go. I kind of felt like my grievance was different, Like, I kind of felt like um like I'm was the only one, thinking about it in a deeper sense, the spiritual meaning of it and what it meant for our LGBTQ community to not be censored and sidelined anymore, and do something daring, and you know let us know that we are seen, and we, you know, don't deserve to be made fun of and pushed off the side anymore. And I was like, for like a while, like after a month and a half, I was thinking about like all these like scenarios on the bus of like all these scenes that could have been possible, and and I was like so excited, and I was like, man, I wish this was real. And I was like, I mean, I felt so alone because I feel like all my life my thinking style has been very alien like. Like, I feel like I'm an alien that doesn't belong on this planet most of the time because of the way I think. So I would just think about it over and over. And then recently I finished all my homework and stuff. I don't have to do anything for the rest of the quarter. I've only got one more week of school left, and not having homework, your brain is not distracted anymore. And with that, I really truly felt the anger and depression stages mixed together, and I was like, I hate this. I hate how my brain is so creative. I hate how, like, the way I think about this is like, I feel like I'm the only one that thinks about it like this. Like, I feel like I'm the only one who understands the true symbolism. And I couldn't talk to the one person I could talk to about it, um, because we had a falling out. So there was no one I could talk to about it, and in like true detail. And I remember just thinking, man, I'm not the only one to think this, right? And I had all these ideas for fan fiction in my mind. I had all these ideas for, I'm creative, right? Like a lot of my life, I would write nonstop. And I stopped writing when I started school because I was just focusing on one thing, and that passion had kind of died down. But I was thinking about all these possibilities, these scenes I wanted to rewrite, and I was like, I mean, come on. I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks this, right? Like, there was a thing where I was like, there's no way nobody else wonders, like, what happened in those 2 years that Mike and Will lived together before season 5. Like, there's no way they didn't have, and this is before I knew about the Power Outage fic. I was like, there's no way that that people aren't wondering what happened. There's no way the Duffers didn't expect us to think that Mike and Will had sleepovers in the basement. Like, am I the only one who thinks this? And then I would think that their love was like Jancy parallel. Like, I always thought they were going to admit that they loved each other, but they didn't know if they could be together because of the world they're in, because it's the 80s, they're fighting monsters, they don't know what their friends will think. That's what I thought, and I was like, I'm the only one who thinks this. And then, to my surprise, for a week, I had been seeing all this stuff online about the Power Outage fic. All over YouTube, unintentionally, because Byler's on my feed, and I saw fan art, I saw comments, I saw I had like 40 million views, and I was like, it's interesting, this is kind of taking over the world. And I kind of swore off fan fiction, and I decided, like, I didn't really think anything of it, because I swore off fan fiction over like 10 years ago, because the last fan fiction I wrote was a Dan and Phil one, and I think it was called the Milk Fic or the Gerbil Fic, and it was so fucking disgusting that I was so revolted, and I didn't want to read fanfiction ever again. I was like, okay, fandoms are crazy, they're fucking gross, and I didn't want to see anything gross about Byler, because that's not what it's about. It's not about physicality, it's not about, that. It's about emotion and something deeper. And then, so, in those moments, a video popped up on my feed of this person. Gracie Malfoy makes really, really, really good AI edits about, like, scenes and songs and, like, of what Byler could have been. And you can literally see, like, just within AI that these characters have so much chemistry. And they had just recently made one about the Power Outage fic. And someone had commented, someone had put in the comments that, they were like, oh my gosh, it's scenes from the Power Outage fic. Yes, queen. And I was like, okay, I mean, I'm seeing this all over. I'm part of the fandom, or I'm part of, like, being a fan. Like, this is everywhere now. I have to see what it is, I gotta check it out. I gotta read it and see what it's all about. Because I've seen the fan art and it was very beautiful, and I've seen comments, so, And the person was like, I commented on the person's comment on YouTube, and I was like, hey, I literally have never read this yet. I didn't even really hear of it till recently. Would you mind, like, sending me a link or something? And they messaged me back, and they're like, I'm so sorry, I tried to send you a link. I really wanted to, but YouTube won't let me. And I was like, it's okay, I'll try to find it. And I knew that that if this had like 40 million views, then it wasn't something you had to pay for. Like I kind of like was like, okay, maybe I can find it and read it for free, And I did some research and saw where it was, and within 3 minutes I found it. And this person did not tell me how long it was going to take. Thank gosh it was a Friday night at 7 p.m. and the next morning was a Saturday, and I had nothing I needed to do. Because once I found it, I actually found chapter 2 and didn't read chapter 1 because I thought I was reading from like a weird like kind of sequence thing. But then I commented on the person's thing and I was like, hey, I found it. And they were like, oh, awesome. Let me know what you think. And I'm reading it. And I'm like really, really, really immersed in it. And what's interesting is like, I've always been sad that I've never been such a deep reader before, because I always love stories. I always love writing more than reading. And I just never have been so immersed in a book or a story before in my life. You know, and it was sad. It made me feel a little inhuman. And I'm reading it, and I'm reading it, and I'm reading it, and I'm like halfway through, and I'm like, oh my God, this person, like, understands what this is. Like, this person understands not just Byler, but the show, and pays love and attention to all these other characters, you know, and writes, like, with passion. And I was so engrossed, and I was reading it, and it started at 7, and then it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, oh my gosh, I do not want this to end. This is so amazing. This is such an amazing read. And I'd never been so damn engrossed in a story before. I felt like I was in a trance, like it was all I wanted to just know then, in that moment. And then I was like, well, this seems like it's a season, so maybe there's 8 chapters. And I saw I was like only on chapter 4, and I was like, yes, there's still more. And I'm reading it, and I'm reading it, and through the entire time, I'm having a revelation of like what it's like to like creatively write, and the passion behind creative writing, and what it means to be passionate about something and why you're passionate about it. And when I was done reading it, I was like, okay, well, I mean, you know, it was like 4 o'clock at night or in the morning on Saturday, and I was like, well, I didn't read chapter 1, but maybe I don't need to. I'll read it later in the morning when I wake up. And then I put my phone down, and I started thinking about it, and then I was like, you know what? What if it gets taken down? I wanna read this. So then I read chapter 1, and I was like, okay, so it's not that bad that I miss it, but it would have been nice to start from chapter 1. So I was like, well, when I reread it, I'll start it from chapter 1. And when I finished this fan fiction that took me 9 hours to read, I felt seen. Like, I felt like this person knew me specifically, was reading it, and read my thoughts and mind about how, like, I thought literally everything, like, how everything should have gone, you know, and what I truly think of it. And this person understands us and cares. And something spiked in me, and I just had all this motivation to write, you know, like, I want to do this. I want to write again, because this is making me feel something. I've felt so dead and so lost, like, ever since I was, like, almost choked and murdered. Like, it's so hard to feel alive. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I was being I was being brought back to life. Like, I felt like I was being brought back into reality and a deeper meaning of the world. And I was like, wow, this needs to be real. This is so cool. I wish all the actors would read this and recreate this, because this is beautiful. And so I went to bed, and when I went to bed, every hour of the night, my body started just having a jolt. Like, my heart had a jolt, and my body had a jolt. That's how amazing it was. And when I woke up, I cried like 15 minutes after I woke up, because I was like, I just hate how we live in a world where the queer community, once again, the pride community, once again, was sidelined, pushed to the side, and downplayed and disrespected in such a way. Like, I really thought, like, before the finale came out, that Stranger Things really wanted to depict that in such a good way. But recently I had watched before I read the fic, I watched Noah give his speech on the award he accepted. And you can just hear the anger in his voice, because you can tell there's so many more things he wants to say. And he's talking about saying how he's thankful that Stranger Things could reach out to outcasts and people like us, right? But the thing is, like, that's what it used to be. That's not what it is now. Like, I don't feel seen by that show, and I don't feel like the queer community felt seen by that show ever since the finale came out. Like, the way that Will was downplayed in Volume 2 and weakened again and forced to come out, and they made us think he was going to have a beautiful moment with his mom, just like Robin had a beautiful moment with Steve. And then they had Mike come in and have him and then leave and tell everyone. Like, that is just playing with our emotions, and that is like saying, oh, Will doesn't deserve a vulnerable moment with his mom, so we're gonna have him forced come out in front of everybody. Like, Murray had to be there? Really? Like, I'm not even sure they had one conversation in the entire show. I don't think Will and Steve had a conversation. And I remember when I was watching that, it's so disrespectful because it's so cringy. And the reason SNL and other people are making fun of that scene and making funny edits and chose that scene is because it is written in a way that you can make fun of. I remember watching that scene and cringing. Like, I've only cringed at like 3 scenes in the entire show, and I remember just thinking, people are gonna make fun of this, and this was supposed to be like a beautiful moment. Like, I don't feel like this show is respecting us. I don't feel seen by the show anymore. And then like when I watched it with my sister, we looked at memes that were literally made right after the episode had came out, the bridge, and we saw a bunch of memes on and people making fun of Will's coming out scene because it's literally cringeworthy. It was so badly written, and I don't know if that's intentional, but it's not. It's like completely like weakens your main character. Like, I feel like the show isn't about strength anymore. I feel like I'm just watching a gay kid get punished for being gay, and him being weak, and him getting possessed and sexually abused and bullied and kidnapped and sidelined and rejected, only to have it not pay off in the end, you know? Like, I just, like, it's kind of physically and psychologically traumatizing, and that's kind of also why people are upset. Like, that's damaging to the mind. Like, the way you watch it now, the way you think of it, you know, I just don't feel like it has the magic it does anymore. And but I do feel seen by the actors, you know, because they didn't want to be a part of queer baiting and all this shit. They, you know, and I don't say they as in a pronoun, I say they as in all of them, you know, didn't want to be a part of that, you know. And I just remember, like, it being so disrespectful, and having your strongest character be downplayed really destroys, like, the backbone of your show and what everything you meant to be, wanted it to be. So when I read that fic, I felt seen for the first time in my life. And I had all these ideas. Like I said, I was like, I want to write a fan fiction. I have so many ideas. I want to write like an idea. I literally had ideas where I wanted to write about them living together in those 2 years, like celebrating holidays and stuff, and drinking cocoa and dancing together and making forts, you know. Like, I have so many ideas. Confronting about the painting. I mean, that's all we wanted. We just wanted Will and Mike to talk about the painting. You make such a big deal out of it in season 5, and then you just sideline that or season 4, and then you just sideline that shit. No, it wasn't shit. So anyway, right after that, I was like, okay, I gotta go run some errands, but as soon as I get home, I'm reading this again. Like, I don't care how long it takes. This is amazing. Plus, I want to read it starting from chapter 1 to chapter the end. 8, I think, 8 or 9. I think there's 8 chapters. And I want to really be immersed and, like, focus. And this is the only thing I want to know. This was the only thing I wanted to know all weekend. Like, this is all I wanted to be around. This passionate writing, because this person made me feel something for the first time in many years and made me realize things about myself and why I loved writing. And I gave up writing so long ago. Like, I just had no passion. And the reason I love writing is because I love writing what I'm passionate about. And this person was so passionate about the show, not just Byler, the show. And I didn't realize how passionate I was about Byler. I knew I supported it, but I never realized how much. I mean, I made an hour-long video explaining why it was so important on an emotional deep level. But I never knew how damn important it truly was to me and how much I care not only about it, but how much I care about the queer community, how much I care about pride, how much I care about people just being yourself. You shouldn't censor yourself. How much I care about how much Byler made me care about the true meaning of our community and how we are truly magical and we see the truth in things. And we know what free love is. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like so amazing. Like, I can't believe I feel this way. And then I was commenting on other Byler stuff on YouTube and people were commenting back, literally same thoughts. And I was like, wow, the Byler fandom literally thinks the same way that I do. Like, there were so many scenes that I even after reading the fanfiction a second time, I was looking at more Byler fan art, and I was literally looking at fan art of exact things I thought I wanted to happen with the show. Like, I wasn't the only one thinking this, and I was like, oh my gosh, someone actually drew my thoughts. Like, we know the importance and the symbolism and how revolutionary it would have been in history to pursue this. And it's like being connected. It's like we all are a collective conscious. And I have never felt like in any fandom in my life that I was a collective conscious with anyone, because I would read fanfiction and like just see how gross it is and see all these videos and just see grossness. But I have never, ever, ever, ever seen anything gross with Byler. Never. And I truly feel like I belong in the fandom. Like, I truly feel like I have a place there. And people, like, I'm there. I'm heard. I'm seen. Because I'm upset about the meaning for our pride community. And I've never in my life felt like someone had reached into my brain and read my mind. I felt like a human for the first time in my entire life. I'm feeling emotions I've never felt before. I'm feeling passion I've never felt before. I'm having old passions pulled out, like, or reignited, like the fire is being lit again. And I feel, for the first time in my life, that I belong. And because I do have passion, and I do care about things, and I do want to live on this planet. I deserve to be here. What I think about is not irrational. It's not delusional. And the reason I support it it's completely valid. Because everyone else is thinking the same thing. Not just a couple thousand people. We're talking about millions and millions and millions and millions of people. Millions of people. And I believe that I support this fandom and am in this fandom for the right reasons. And have no doubt in my mind that loving the idea of Byler and thinking about it in an emotional way, like I have no doubt in my mind that that is exactly what I meant to do in this moment. I was like, okay, well, at least I'm gonna grieve in the wintertime, right? It's time to hibernate, at least it's not gonna be during spring or summer, right? And now I realize and she used Noah's words, which also meant something before this, because I had thought about that when I truly realized who I was becoming. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I am becoming the person I am supposed to be. And I never knew me was a fucking passionate human being. And you guys, the fandom, made me realize that. Because you guys feel what I feel. You guys know. We all fucking know how important it was and how much it meant to us as a community. And I couldn't thank you guys enough, because now I feel like I'm alive again. And like I said, even before the finale came out, I've felt dead for a long time after having a near-death experience, and felt like I was like just meant to be here for torture. No, I'm not meant to be here for torture. I'm meant to be here to fucking stand up for what I fucking believe in and stick my fucking ground and say what I believe and what we believe. And the message is to them, like to the creators, like, you let us down. Whether you meant to or not, you let us down. You disrespected us in a way that was so hurting, like so hurtful, that we don't even want to be a part of the show. And we're literally creating our own space. And we have our own fandom, and we're creating our own fanfics and our own fan art, and we're rewriting the ending, and we're rewriting scenes, and we're making fix-it fix and stuff like that. Fixing the ending, and we are talking amongst each other because we know we feel seen by each other. We feel like we give a shit, like we're family. Like we're all one. And we understand more than you ever could have. The pride community, once again, swept under the rug, whether it's intentional or not. We have to fight to freely love every day, even though love is not a right. It's a feeling. And we deserve love. We don't deserve to be pushed down and downplayed and ignored. And I feel like the Power Outage fic is like a historical movement right now, because we're fucking speaking up. Like, we're trying to tell you, we care about the show. We don't give a shit about physicality. We don't care about sex. We don't care about, that stuff. We care about what we thought the show was, and we care about emotion. And I couldn't be more than proud to be a part of the Byler fandom. I never in my life have I ever been proud to be in a fandom. I literally avoided them. But for some reason, this one somehow found its way into my life when I was feeling the most shittiest. And for once in my life, I feel like I can appreciate art again. Because for the longest time, I hated it because people were gross, especially in fandoms. But I have not seen one fucking gross thing in this fandom. All I see is love, respect, care, passion, and magic. I see the message everyone's trying to get across. I see true creativity in your art and your writing. I see something beautiful. I see respect and human and what it means to be human. What it means to care. So thank you guys. And I'm truly, honestly, I am so fucking excited to write mine. Like, I haven't been so fucking excited to write. I haven't written in like 6 years. And then before that, it was like, and it was only for like a brief moment, literally like maybe a couple days. And then before that, it was like 4 years. Like, you know, surprisingly, before Stranger Things came out, literally 3 years before it came out, I wrote a story about a gay kid that went missing in a dark alternate dimension. And surprisingly, this was literally like 3 years before Stranger Things was even a thing. The colors, they weren't blue and yellow. They were purple and yellow. My story was color-coded, and there were similar, like, injuries. There were cheek scratches, and the kid was gay, and the person who kidnapped the kid was like also like dealing with their own shit, and I was like, when I was like, whoa, how, it's like I tapped into a collective conscious or something. Like, I manifested a story like this to be made, and then 3 years later there's literally a gay kid getting kidnapped in an alternate dimension. But I didn't start watching it until I was 25, and it came out when I was 18. I did watch one episode when I was 18, but then I was like, man, I don't want to wait forever to see if this kid gets rescued. I don't want to watch this. And then I ignored it until I was 25, and I started watching with my cousin. And it was magic. It was beautiful. We would talk about Byler, and she fucking understood that it was tender. You know? And it reminded me, like, the story I wrote just like reminded me how much like I loved it. Like now, like I love Stranger Things so much because like it's so creative and it's literally like close to my story. Like I like things like this. I like Pride community. I like creepy things. I like writing that's daring. And it reminded me of why I liked it. And I will love every bit of it that is not involved with the finale. Like, if the finale did not exist and volume 2 did not exist in season 5, I love everything about it. Because I felt like I was being seen because I thought and believed in similar things. So I am beyond excited. I'm so excited. I'm so ready to write it. I have so many ideas about how I want, you know, Will and Mike to be in a fight because they fight about the painting, and then they have to, you know, it's the holidays, and they, you know, Dustin's like, hey, you should really make up with Will because, you know, like, I lost Eddie, and, you know, you lost Eddie too, and you never know what could happen. And also, Mike's talking to Dustin about it because, you know, Mike had a little crush on Eddie, like, but also, even if he didn't, they were friends. They were literally friends in the same D&D group. Like, why aren't we also talking about Mike's grief? Like, I know Dustin grief too, but, like, I want to see Mike and Dustin have a conversation. So I want to write all these things I've wanted to see in the show. And now they're so clear in my face, and I want to write about them dancing together during the holidays and making up and making forts with rainbow lighting in it, and making gingerbread cookies and drinking hot cocoa by the fire and having snowball fights and making a snowball instead of a snowman, a snow dragon. And, you know, Will and Mike are working on a story and art together, and they're just, and then in all, what I always thought they were, which was Jancy parallel, where they realize they love each other, but they don't know how realistic it is that they can be together. That's what I want. Because it didn't have to be a thing like pursuit, like oh, this is an end game thing. Like, it didn't have to be, although I'm not sure end game. I mean, for me, it's end game. But in the show, like, I felt like it didn't have to be the way everyone, like, the way it could have, like, where they did get together. You know, like, I feel like when Jonathan and Nancy had that conversation, I felt like Will and Mike were going to have a conversation like that. Like, they were going to be in a life or death threatening situation. And they were going to say, hey, listen, you know, and understand and realize they love each other, but they don't know how realistic it is based off everything they've been through. And we're not talking about trauma bonded, because they're not trauma bonded. They've literally been friends since they were like 5. And that is how I always saw them, like a forbidden love. But you know it's there. You know that it's real. But you also have to take into account the reality of life. And I want to do that. I want to write a beautiful fiction where they just have a beautiful holiday break and understand that they can live in fantasy together, but also take on reality as well. And there's just so much. I mean, there's so much I want to do. There's scenes I want to, like, you know, where Will slips and hits and scrapes his hand, and Mike, like, rubs a bandage on, or puts a bandage on it, and then maybe he, you know, I had this idea where, like, okay, there's, like, so many ideas, but can I just say that, like, can we all just, like, agree that there should have been, like, a scene? Well, literally, I've seen art of this. Like, I remember I was on the bus one day, and I was thinking, you know, I really wished that Mike was, like, holding Will's hand when he was, like, in a trance. Kind of like a nice Lumax parallel. And then, literally, I came home after being I was on the bus, I came home, I looked at some fan art, and I saw that exact thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, people are thinking what I'm thinking. And this is before all this stuff happened with the power outage, finding out about the power outage fic. And I was just like, wouldn't it have been so great if, like, Mike had played Should I Stay or Should I Go on a radio or something, and Will was, like, stuck in Vecna's mind and running towards Mike as Mike is holding his hand, telling him how much he loves him and he wants him to come back to him, and how cinematic it would be if Will was running, dodging all these boulders in this red mind area, just like Max was, only that instead of the song being Running Up That Hill, it's Should I Stay or Should I Go? Like, and then when I have all these ideas, like, people actually are drawing fan art and thinking of it, and it's just so amazing. And, like, I hope that is, like, gets to be reality. Like, when I put out my fan fiction, like, I hope people are so inspired by my work, they're, like, will want to make my visions come to life and be like, we see you, we understand, we're gonna draw this so beautifully, you know? I want to inspire and show why I care so much. Like, I want to give, and I want to show you guys, like, everything that's trapped in my mind, everything I wish had happened during a holiday break, the time Mike and Will lived together. And I literally thought about this before I knew about the fiction, the fan fiction, the Power Outage fic. Like, I literally was thinking, oh, I want to write a story about this. Like, and then I literally find a story, and I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe it's not so wrong to write this, because I thought it would be wrong to write it too. And then I'm just like, wow, this person is thinking the way I'm thinking. We want to know what happened in those 2 years they lived together. There's no way they didn't talk about things. So I'm just happy again, and I could see my smile. And I didn't mean for this video to be this long, but you can see within expression and the way people smile when they talk and the way they talk what they're passionate about, you can see raw, real truth. And it's something that can't be replaced. It's art. Art is supposed to make you feel. That's why we do art. It's a passion. And passion never dies. You just gotta dig a little deeper and you'll find it. Or it just has to be pulled out of you while you're reading a fan fiction. I've read that fan fiction almost 3 times. I'm on the last chapter again, and this is the 3rd time reading it. And once I'm done making this video, I'm gonna finish that, and then I'm gonna take a break because I need to come back to reality. And then I'm gonna read it for a 4th time. It's so fucking good. I've literally like it's just so perfect. How many times am I gonna read it? I have no idea. It's literally all I want to know right now. It's amazing. And thank you, whoever wrote the Power Outage fic. I wish I could talk to you in person because you just fucking shocked me back to life and gave me life and reignited passion within me as if you fucking know me like I'm family and we've never even fucking met and talked that we know of. Yet you still see me and everyone else and the struggle. Thank you. I truly, 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 truly thank you for that. And I can't wait to give you guys what the Power Outage fic gave me. I can't wait to show you that I fucking understand how you feel and I know exactly what we should have seen. I know exactly what we wanted to see. I know that we all wanted to see a painting conversation. I know we wanted so much. If you guys don't feel seen, trust me, you're seen and I see you. I want to show you through creative writing and passion that you're not alone. And I feel the hurt in your hearts right now. And that you guys are fucking magical. I love the Byler fandom. I fucking love it. I've never been so fucking proud to be part of a fandom before. Keep doing what your guys doing. Your art, your videos, your writing, everything. Because it needs to be seen. Don't censor your magic. Don't censor who you are. Shine bright. Show the world the real you. Show it through your passions. Don't ever let fear take over.